So hello, in this tutorial we'll be looking into how we can and set up a RISC-V OVP Sim Plus and do a quick demo on how to compile and run a vector-based program in your machine. So our agenda will be the RISC-V OVP Sim Plus setup in Windows, and also the compiling and running of a vector-based program. So why do we use riscv OVPsimPlus in the first place? It's because the other version of riscv, which is the riscv OVPSim, it does not support it doesn't support the vector extension yet, and the only version that supports the vector extension as of now is the riscv OVPsimPlus, and that's why we're using this version. So to begin with, let's start by turning on our Windows subsystem for Linux. We'll be needing this because in the first step, we'll be using Linux environment to compile our vector program. So to do this, and we use the Windows subsystem for Linux because to prevent us from do a long setup for virtual machine or for the Ubuntu uh, for the Ubuntu setup, etc. So we're just gonna go with the Windows subsystem for Linux, and we can find it from doing the search here and then type settings Windows feature, which will show you the turn Windows feature on or off. We can click that and see there are several features that we can turn on and off. So let's turn on the Windows subsystem for Linux and then click OK. So after you click OK, you might be prompted to reboot your machine. So you can continue this video after uh, you reboot your machine. And then next thing we want to do is to install an Ubuntu terminal from Microsoft Store. You can click the link in here and see it directly in here, or you can opt to go straight to Microsoft Store and just search Ubuntu, and you'll find this app, and then you can just install it. And this will take several minutes, and at the end of it, it will ask you to set a username and password as well. So the next thing we want to do is to clone a repository. So for this demo, we made a repository for the riscvOVPsimPlus demo, which contains the several instruction on how to set up the riscvOVPsimPlus in your machine. And we also provide some files in here. The compile.sh is the one that we use to compile our vector program, and the compile vsuport is to compile the vsuport.c from Imperas, and then the run.sh, this will be used to run your program. Then the vtest.c, this is your vector-based program. And then we just clone the repository. And after we clone the repository, we want to also clone the riscv toolchain repo, because we'll be needing the toolchains from there, and we want to use the branch rvv-0.8.x. So after we clone it, this will be how our project file look like. And don't forget that the riscv toolchain should be installed cloned inside the riscvOVPsimPlus demo. So it should be put here. And then the next thing we want to do is to add an environment variable in the path. So this is used to compile your program, and you will compile your program in Ubuntu terminal. So you can search for the path to riscv tool change Linux. This can be found in your riscv tool change. So riscv tool change and then Linux 64 and then sci5 riscv non gcc the bin, and then you can copy all of this, then just go straight to the um, to add it in the environment variable. Environment variable, and then go to path. You can add it here. Okay, just in case I'm gonna be adding it here also. And then after that, after we add the environment variable, the next thing we want to do is to go to the OVP World website and download the riscvOVPsimPlus with base and example configuration 5 vector test suites. If you notice in the folder earlier, there's this one folder that is not your in your device right now, the embarrass risky test, because this is the file that we need to download from OVP World. So if you go to OVP World, you can, from the link in here, when you click it, it will redirect you to this site, and then it says that you will need to be registered to be a registered users of this site. So you have to register first, and for the registration, it won't take long. Like first, it will give you this, show you this page, and then just click I agree to these terms and I wish to register, and then just input your some information, just input the required information, and then they will send you some code, confirmation code to your email, the email address that you put, and then after that you will be on a pending, some kind of a pending status where you can wait until the OVP World admin enabled your account, and then they will send you an update as well if they already update your account. So once you have downloaded everything, once you have downloaded the riscvOVPsimPlus with the base and example configuration for vector test suites, it's in here later on, the the last uh the last item. So this is the one that you would like to download, and then when you extract the it will be a zip file when you download it, and when you extract the content, there will be a folder called Imbejas riscv test. So you would want to copy that to your project folder, such as this. So your project folder will look like this after you complete the previous setup that we have done so far. It will look something like this. There's this folder, there are two folder, and then there's the compilation file, the run file, and then the vsuport, etc. So the next thing we want to do is to add an environment variable to the riscvOVPsim plus base that we have downloaded from OVP World before. So if we check the embarrass riscv test, go to riscvOVPsim plus, and then go to bin, and then you can see there's a Linux and there's also the Windows 64. You can opt to add one of just add one of them. I'll be adding, let's say I'll be adding using Linux in my case. Uh, just copy this and then go to our environment variable, and then environment variable, I'll copy it here. Then it's in here as well. Then after we're done, I think that should be almost everything. Yeah, just copy one of it, because if you copy both, it will result in an error. And then, yeah, let's start to compile our program. So we can compile the vsuport.c by running the compile underscore vsuport.sh in Ubuntu terminal, and you will only need to do this once, because this will only generate for you the vsuport.o that will be used to compile the vtest.c. So let's start with that first. So we can open our Ubuntu terminal. Um, Just give me a sec. Okay, sorry for that. So we have opened our Ubuntu terminal, so we can just go to our destination, our directory. So in Ubuntu, this Ubuntu terminal, you can just go to /mnt and then the drive where your files project folder is located. In my case, I'm in drive C, users, Stanley desktop, then demo if I'm mistaken. Yeah, and then cd riscv demo, and then yeah, from here I want to run. Let's copy this again. Here I want to run the compile vsuport.c. So by running the compile underscore vsuport.sh, so I'll be running that. Just compile vsuport.sh, and then take probably some time. And then after that, you can see it will generate for you the vsupport.o. And then after that, you want to compile your vtest.c by running the compile.sh. This will generate for you the vtest.elf, which will be used to run your program, which basically that's your program in machine language. So just compile.sh, and yeah, this will generate for you the vtest.elf. And then since right now I'm in Ubuntu terminal, so I can just do the run.sh instead. So just do run.sh, and it should run for me the um, my vector-based program. So you can see in here, this is just a vector multiplication. Yeah. And I think you can also do this in Windows. Just do the same thing. Change the path to Windows if you want to run it in Windows, and then just run the run.bat file. I think that's all for this tutorial. Thank you.